Oh, we needed this. This is good for us. Healthy for the heart, nourishing the soul. A full serving of college football.
Welcome back, college football.
One-handed ripped it in.
Wow.
There's sand. He is in. Wrestled down on the two.
You ever seen anything like that?
You can do anything you set your mind to.
54 yards to the house.
Let me show you what we came to do. Don't talking making major moves.
More than fans, families. More than matchups, rivalries. More than moments, shared memories. More than a game, a way of life. This is living done right. The traditions bond, the stories inspire. It all lights a fire and fills us up inside with pride and joy.
So you got a chance to make history.
You leave it on that field. Everything you got.
Welcome home, College Football 2021.
It's never felt better to say it. Welcome to the Duke's Mayo Classic from Charlotte, North Carolina. Inside Bank of America Stadium, normally home to the Panthers. Today it's home to the ECU Pirates out of the American Conference and the App State Mountaineers out of the Sun Belt. We are so glad to have you with us. So glad to have college football back. I'm Mike Cousins along with Dustin Fox, the former Ohio State and NFL defensive back. Thanks so much for being with us on this great night. Dustin, college football is back. It feels better than ever.
Yes, it is. I've got my shoulder pads in the back room I can go grab right now. I've got chills. Welcome home for college football. We've got fans in the stands. We've got bands. We've got cheerleaders. It is finally here.
And you got some really great programs here tonight. We'll start with App State coming off a 9-win season. Not too much turnover on this roster. They're feeling good about where they are to start the year.
They are, but they've got the key loss. Zach Thomas was a starting quarterback for 3 seasons. There are 69 touchdowns in his career. It's going to look a little bit different for App State tonight. They've got a new quarterback, Chase Bryce, who transfers in from Duke, and he's got a heck of an arm. And we talked with Coach this week, Coach Sean Clark. He said they're going to take a lot more shots down the field, even though they had a great rushing attack a season ago.
Although ECU just had their 6th straight losing season, they did finish on a strong note. The Pirates had just 1 win through 7 games, but they ended where they would like to with back-to-back victories. First, they beat Temple, and then a very solid SMU team. Their returning quarterback, Holton Ahlers, 20 of 29 for almost 300 yards, 4 touchdowns against SMU. The defense was stout, a couple of interceptions, and a fumble return. And so ECU is hoping to pick up here in 2021 where they left off in 2020.
Yeah, I thought they had some momentum at the end of last season, of course. This is the first year with Coach Houston having 85 guys on his scholarship on the roster, I should say. And last year they had some issues with COVID prior to the season. There was 10 days where their offensive line couldn't practice. So this is going to be a little bit different, and Holton Ahlers is getting more comfortable in this offense.
That's how much turnover there was, that this is the first year in his 3rd season. They're finally at their full allotment of 85 scholarships. It's his 3rd time as a head coach going into year 3. Record of 7-14 for ECU out of Greenville, North Carolina. And ECU is going to receive to get things going, expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 to 40,000 tonight in Charlotte for the season opener between ECU and App State.
Mike, I love it. The fans are back. You can hear it. The energy in the building is electric.
And as that sails out of the back of the end zone, ECU gets ready to take the field with Holton Ahlers leading the charge in his 3rd year as the full-time starter. The hometown guy who took over in Game 7 of the 2018 season. He was their leading rusher that year. It tells you how things have gone for the Pirates. He has stuck through it through thick and thin. Here was a guy who had offers to go to play for schools in the ACC, the SEC. Last year, north of 60%, and they're hoping the big lefty gets even better this year.
The hometown hero. His father, in fact, is the PA announcer at East Carolina. So there's a lot of homegrown talent on this roster, including Holton Ahlers.
So the anticipation continues to build for ECU as they get ready for their first snap with an official timeout as the officiating crew, their first game of the year as well, make sure everything gets squared away to start.
They're not working. There will be a momentary delay.
All right. We were so excited to kick the season off, Mike.
And yet we're still in better shape than Boise State and UCF, one of the other big games tonight that has been pushed back due to lightning. So at least a technical delay can theoretically be in their control rather than having to wait out the weather.
And if they can't get the headsets working for Appalachian State, they would have to remove the headsets from East Carolina to do the game, which obviously that changes things dramatically.
Well, here's a chance for both of these fan bases early on to show who traveled better here to Charlotte today.
I can't tell so far. There's a pretty good contingent of App State fans. The Pirate fans have come a long way. Was it about 2 hours to Boone?
2 hours, give or take, to either school's campus, but you can be sure spread out throughout the state of North Carolina. These fan bases are well represented from coast to inland between ECU and App State. And you can imagine just the jitters right now for these players after such an abnormal season last year. So much uncertainty to finally be back here, ready to go. And they're like a bomb with the fuse ticking down to its final moments, ready to burst. As Holton Ahlers gets ready for this first snap, he's going to be receiving it from a new center, Avery Jones, the senior from Havelock, North Carolina, who played left guard last year, will be delivering the snaps for Ahlers, who works primarily out of the gun duster.
He's a southpaw. He's got a lot of ability as a thrower, but where you don't see a ton of it, he's a great runner, too. He reminds me a lot of Tim Tebow early in his career.
Makes the give to Keaton Mitchell, and he's wrapped up as he gets back to the line of scrimmage to the 25. Not a lot of room to work with. Nick Hampton in quick pursuit brings up second down.
Hampton's got some speed now on the outside. He plays that dog position, and they love to blitz him. He can get in coverage as well, but a terrific speedster on that App State defense.
Ahlers, one of the most prolific passers in North Carolina high school history, hands that off, and the right side of the offensive line withers under the pressure from the App State defense. They're right on top of it again. DeMarco Jackson out in front.
Well, the front seven for this App State defense is terrific. They're all back. And up front, you got Taylor, you got Earl, you got Sperlin. Behind that, you got Jackson. I mean, these are some big dudes who can run. And there you take a look at big Demetrius Taylor, who lost a little bit of weight prior to the season. Caleb Sperlin as well, former wrestler. You do not want to run into the teeth of this defense.
Ahlers back to throw on 3rd and 10. He lets it fly. That's too long, and it's incomplete on 3rd down and 10 on the first 3 plays of the game, where App State, the defense, certainly looked to overmatch the ECU offense.
And that's the place you don't want to go. Sean Jolly is probably the top corner in the Sun Belt who has a chance to maybe play at the next level. He is terrific in coverage. Man coverage down the field, does a great job staying in stride and forcing the 3 and out.
It's John Young on to punt from the 11-yard line. Last year averaged about 42 yards a kick. And after a 3 and out, lets this fly. Fair catch called for, drifting all the way back to about the 30-yard line for Thomas Hennigan. So quickly on and off for the ECU offense. On the other side for App State, 9-3 a year ago, Dustin. They welcome Chase Bryce to Boone, North Carolina.
He's got some experience, Mike. I mean, he played at Clemson, came in that Syracuse game, led them to a victory the year they won the national championship, then transfers to Duke, has an okay season. The 15 interceptions, that's a problem. They were a little bit concerned about that, but they said he's cleaned that up this offseason. He enrolled in App State in January, and here he is, the starting quarterback, replacing Zach Thomas.
And Bryce looking to heave deep downfield right from the get-go, looking for Corey Sutton, who's back. And the pass is incomplete. Jaquan McMillan with smothering sideline coverage.
Can't tell if it was good coverage or if it was pass interference. It was close. He kind of goes through the body of Sutton. Watch at the end. He's in pursuit, and that's probably pass interference. I think they got away with one.
The standard for pass interference at the college level is an obvious intent to impede. A little bit dicey there. No flag. 2nd and 10 for App State. And they hand it off. A bursting run from Cam Peoples. Over 1,100 yards last year as he led the Sun Belt and was 10th in the country.
How about the game he had in the Myrtle Beach Bowl? What, he rushed for 700 yards? I mean,
317 and 5 touchdowns.
It was amazing to watch that game because no one could tackle him. And you saw the speed and agility of Cam Peoples. And we didn't really talk about him. We're talking about this passing attack. But this really is a run-first offense.
Bryce facing a 4-man rush on 3rd and 5, perhaps a little bit too excited, targeting Thomas Hennigan, who has it go off the fingertips, and that brings on the punt team. They trade 3 and outs to start.
You mentioned it. Maybe Chase Bryce a little nervous. His first start at App State. Big shoes to fill. He's throwing to Hennigan on the outside. That's the sure-handed receiver. He's finally healthy.
Team's leading receiver from a year ago. We'll certainly be calling his name more as the night goes along. Couple minutes gone in the first quarter. Here's Tyler Snead trying to make something happen for ECU on the punt return. And he goes laterally out of bounds. ECU has its second chance on offense. An in-state battle in North Carolina. Showdown in Charlotte. More on the other side. Hey, look who's in the house tonight. It's country artist Luke Combs, who attended App State, left a little bit before graduation. Gotta say, it's worked out pretty well for him. He's debuted a new song, South Anya, that's going to be on SEC Network this year. Really cool. We saw Matt Rule in the house, the Panthers head coach, going into his second year earlier as well. Mike Cousins, Dustin Fox with you. ECU and App State at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Each team's offense has had one go at it so far. Nothing on the scoreboard. So it's the second go round for the Pirates. And they get some headway here on the handoff. Going between the tackles. Raji Harris, freshman from Duncan, South Carolina, gets his first carry of the night. ECU a year ago, 3-6, their overall mark. Started out with losses in back-to-back games, beat USF, lost 4 in a row, and closed things out with back-to-back victories. A lot of uncertainty from a year ago for all teams across college football. Thankfully wiped away this year. Ehlers was looking to throw. He can run as well, and he's just got to tuck it as he takes off and gets hit, knocked down at about the 27-yard line. Here's DeMarco Jackson again, the team's leading tackler in 2020.
It's a smart decision by Ehlers because they try to run a double move on the outside, and App State's all over it. Then once he gets to the line of scrimmage, he knows he's got to take off, pick up a couple yards. Now you got a 3rd and 3, a manageable 3rd and 3.
They don't stretch the field all that often, Dustin. Not as much speed as they'd like in this receiving corps. So these short and medium distances fit right into their route trees. With 4 receivers, it's Ehlers who takes the duck down pass to Harris. And the running back turns upfield out of bounds. First down, Pirates.
You know, Harris was a freshman a year ago, and he gets that free season to come back, put on a little bit of extra weight. He looks a little bit bigger than he did a year ago. Still, wow, give him a little lick there on the outside to Trey Cobb. I like that physicality.
Trey Cobb's about 4 inches taller, but they're about the same, around 220.
No doubt.
10.5 minutes in the first quarter. Ehlers with the fake. Oh, what a beautiful hit at the 45-yard line to lay out C.J. Johnson, but the high school teammate of Ehlers hangs on.
Big hit by Huff, but maybe a better catch on the outside. Just a deep in pattern. And Ehlers finds the hole in the zone. Look at this. Bam! That's a laser. To hold on to that football, that's tough. Terrific concentration by Johnson.
Huff, the senior safety, also helps them as a run stopper. You can see exactly why. 1st and 10 with ECU approaching midfield. And that goes nowhere. It's stymied in the backfield. Jordan Earl, the nose tackle, was the first on the scene for App State with a flag down at the end.
Holding. Offense. Number 5. Previous spot, 10 yards. Replay the down.
Johnson on the outside with the hold. Wasn't even really near the play.
Well, find me a coach who after the first game won't say we had too many penalties. I'll find you a liar.
Yeah.
It's inevitable to happen here in week 1.
Well, and you know what's interesting too, Mike, is these teams are used to playing in front of no fans for the most part. And now you have an actual crowd noise. It adds to the lack of concentration.
Ehlers with a quick swing pass. It's Keaton Mitchell up the sideline. Across midfield. It's a foot race. And Keaton Mitchell is gone for the ECU touchdown. A massive burst. The Pirates are on the board first in Charlotte.
This was just going to be an easy first down pickup, but watch the speed from Keaton Mitchell, the freshman. Outruns the entire defense. Ryan Huff even had an angle and still couldn't get there. That was just an amazing effort from Keaton Mitchell. Looked like his dad out there. Former
63 yards for Mitchell, who was on the 4x100 relay team in high school and looked every part of it as he was ready to hand off the baton, which he does to Owen Daffer for the extra point try. Looked like he lost his footing there, and the extra point is no good. What a start, though, on drive number 2 for Keaton Mitchell. He said, I looked at my wrist. I got time today. You know it. I'm crossing the line today. Touchdown, ECU.
The Duke's Mayo Classic on ESPNU is brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise, the only mayo with that southern something, that added Duke's, it's got twang. And Marathon, driven forward.
In Uptown Charlotte, ECU, a touchdown better than App State. Hashtag college kickers. Missed the extra point.
It's all trending, Mike.
Everything you loved about college football is back in 2021. Mike Cousins, Dustin Fox.
Tweeting about that. I miss tweeting hashtag college kickers.
I'm sure there's no shortage of people who are willing and ready to do that for you.
No question.
From the goal line, a gutsy return. And Jalen Virgil gets it out near the 35, Dustin.
So let's go back to the touchdown run by Keaton Mitchell and just show you the speed. He breaks 2 tacklers that have the angle right there. This guy's got the angle. That's 4. That's Nick Ross. And then 21's going to come to your screen right now. That's Huff. Look at that. Outruns the angle to the end zone. That is just all speed from the trackster, Keaton Mitchell.
So you're saying the safeties did everything right. They just weren't fast enough.
They weren't fast enough. No, they were there. They had the angles. He should have been tackled for a 10 or 15-yard gain.
To start the drive, first catch of the year for Corey Sutton. who opted out of the 2020 season, the former K-State Wildcat and senior playing in his hometown, makes the catch, 6-yard pickup. That was a quick scoring drive by the Pirates. 5 plays, 80 yards in just a couple of ticks over 3 minutes. And what does App State have here as a first quarter response? The Pirates bring pressure. The short throw is caught by Henry Pearson, the tight end. And then he's quickly gobbled up.
Sorry, Mike. The one thing that Blake Harrell told us this week with Chase Bryce is that they got to pressure him. They know they're going to throw the football, but they've got to bring pressure. This defense was really, it was not good last year. Let's just put it that way to be nice. They've got to improve. They've got a lot of guys back on this in the secondary and up front, but they've got to be better. And right now, they're off to a pretty good start.
On first down, the handoff goes to Nate Noel, the sophomore from Miami. College football returns to ABC. It's a triple header. And you don't have to go far for it if you're in Charlotte, because it'll be right on this field. Georgia and Clemson. Saturday, 7:30, ABC, the ESPN app. One of the biggest games of week 1 with massive implications for the college football playoff.
And more mayonnaise. Still waiting on ours.
I'm ready. Whenever it shows up on my doorstep, I'm ready. 2 blockers, 3 defenders, and still somehow Thomas Hennigan, with his first catch of the season, finds a way. He moves the sticks.
Watch the block down the field. Got 81 Miller Gibbs out there. It's a good block. And then Hennigan just breaking tackles.
Bryce and the Mountaineers quickly back to the line of scrimmage after Noel looked like he was on skates. Turns it up, gets about 8 there. We'll see a lot of Peoples and Noel. Peoples the bigger back at 220. Noel smaller, quicker at 5'10", a $190.
Would you say thunder and lightning, or is that too cliche?
It's cliche though, but it is perhaps applicable. Bryce runs, he has the first down. It will be interesting to watch his decision making today throughout the season. Last year at Duke, 10 touchdowns. His 15 interceptions led FBS. But Frank Ponce, the offensive coordinator, said, certainly when we looked at his tape as we entertained him transferring here, we said, all right, if we can get his decision-making where it needs to be, not always trying to go for the big play, but taking that 4 to 5 yard pass, letting your talented teammates do the work, I think we can get those numbers where they need to be. ECU shows blitz. Here it comes. Pressure doesn't get there in time. Bryce with a heave to the end zone. Thomas Hennigan. Touchdown, App State for the equalizer.
This is an absolute dime by Chase Bryce. Hennigan's covered well. Good protection up front. And really good coverage down the field by Malik Fleming, one of their top corners. But Hennigan, who's finally healthy, comes up with the touchdown. Great concentration.
Extra point puts him up 7-6.
Hennigan had a hamstring injury all of last season. He couldn't run the deep routes. Guess what? He's healthy, and App State's on top, 7-6.
Matching 3-minute scoring drives, App State an extra point better than ECU, and they are certainly going to have their eyes on that top 15 matchup Saturday, 3:30 ABC, Alabama and Miami, because that's the week 2 opponent for App State next Saturday, as they're going to travel down to South Florida and take on the Hurricanes. Pretty cool for them to open things up in the 2021 season. Back-to-back weekends in NFL stadiums here in Charlotte and then down in Miami. Snead out to the 28.
Let's go back to the touchdown. East Carolina plays a lot of quarters coverage, cover 4. And watch number 4. That's Malik Fleming. He does a good job of taking the seam routes. He's right there. Just a perfect throw. You can't throw it any better than Chase Bryce did right there. And Hennigan does the step over and scores the touchdown. He played all the games a season ago with that banged up hamstring, and he just didn't have the burst. Everything he ran last year was all underneath routes. And we talked with Sean Clark. They said he's back to 100%. They're going to take a lot more shots to him down the field.
Ahlers and the Pirates back to work. That back foot pass is knocked down by Jalen McLeod, the outside linebacker. 2nd and 10 on the way.
To bring pressure inside. And Ahlers, that lefty, great job getting the paw up there. You see McLeod, 35.
Ahlers is capable of inflicting massive amounts of damage on opposing secondaries. He's put up as many as 535 yards on a given day in his career. Another incompletion on a play gone awry.
Yeah,
he's got the 2 highest
screen.
He's got the 2 highest passing totals in the history of the program at 535 and 498 yards respectively. 3rd and 10. They've got to convert here to keep it alive.
There's Tyler Snead. There he's in motion. That's the go-to receiver on these 3rd downs. 22 up top of your screen.
Snead runs the out route. Ahlers has room, but not enough as he gets tied up as he tries to run for the 1st down. Beautiful pursuit. And he comes up short of the sticks. 4th down. Madison Cone, the transfer from Wisconsin, got him.
Ahlers is not easy to get on the ground. Watch number 12 coming to your screen right here. Goes low as Ahlers tries to kind of jump through the tackle. But Cone, you mentioned the grad transfer from Wisconsin. He has had a heck of a camp. He has really impressed the coaching staff so far early on here at App State.
That's the grip strength there from Cone.
Oh, yeah.
Going from a Power 5 school to a Group of 5 school here in the American Athletic Conference. Fair catch called for by Hennigan. Well, App State a year ago, 9-3, 6-2 in the Sun Belt. And 2 of their losses against top 25 teams. Number 15, Coastal. Number 20, Louisiana. And a high-scoring outfit at 34 points a game. But this year, for the first time in 5 years, they enter a season not as either the outright or co-conference champion from the year before. So something to prove, certainly for the team and for Bryce at quarterback, who on that last drive capped it off with a 34-yard touchdown to Thomas Hennigan. Play action. 9-yard pass to the sidelines. The speedy Jalen Virgil makes the catch as he gets poked out of bounds.
I'll tell you, ever since that one missed throw on that 3rd down to Hennigan, Chase Bryce is really settling into this offense. I think that last touchdown, that's going to help his confidence. What's the play action pass? He throws this right to the sticks. That's a great throw.
Flags come in from every angle. Back them up a few.
False start. Offensive line. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
As you say, partner, early season games often have some mistakes, especially with the crowd noise, which I love. It's so great to hear the crowd. I mean, it's just amazing how different college football was a season ago.
Coaches like Sean Clark in their first seasons had to run out to empty stadiums, something they had dreamed about for the entirety of their lives, and it was not exactly what they expected. Cam Peoples lowering the shoulder into Jaquan McMillan. 1st down after the penalty.
You see the physicality of Cam Peoples. He can get on the outside. They fake the jet sweep, and then he kind of bounces off a missed tackle right there. Picks up the 1st down.
Another out route. This time the ball is knocked loose, jarred out by the sophomore Malik Fleming. Solid tackle to prevent the completion.
Fleming got beat for the first touchdown, comes back with a nice play there. We chatted with Blake Harrell, the defensive coordinator at East Carolina. He says Malik Fleming doesn't back down from anybody. Loves to play press coverage. He's got a chance maybe to play at the next level. Some scouts have been looking at him. Just a really good-looking corner.
Hoping to shore up a defense that last year allowed 35 points a game. Their offense only scored 30. Quick touch in front for Christian Horn. He has nowhere to run. Warren Saba moving from backup to starter this year, making the most of it in game number 1.
They try to block 3 guys with 1 dude. Great pursuit by both Saba and Bruce Bivens. Number 5 is in there too. Good pursuit.
Third down, 13 for Bryce and App State.
Watch the screen.
ECU brings 5. It's a crossing route, Corey Sutton. He dances his way to the first down marker. Was his spin enough to get him a first down?
I thought he had the first down, and when he spun backwards, it almost looked like he lost a yard, but they're going to give him the first down. But I'll tell you what, this play was all set up by Hennigan. There's going to be a block coming from the left side of your screen after this. Watch Hennigan get the block right there. That frees him for the first down. Good job on the outside by Thomas Hennigan.
That's why Hennigan has started all but one of the 53 games in his career. The senior from Greensboro and the senior from Charlotte making a great combination on the perimeter. Under 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Bryce on the rollout. It's Hennigan again. Clipped from behind after a nice pickup. Jairo Wilson brings him to the turf.
It's a naked boot. Get everybody going to the right, and they come back to the left with 3 crossing routes at different levels. Hennigan underneath. He had Virgil behind him, but he takes the underneath throw to Hennigan. And I'll tell you what, man, this guy, I did 3 App State games last year. What a different player he is now that he's healthy.
Holding penalty, 2:35 and counting here in the first. Sends App State back to their own 39-yard line. On 1st and 20, happy to throw it and gain a lot of that yardage back. Sutton gets it. A little bit of chirping along the sidelines between Jaquan McMillan and the App State squad.
This arm of Chase Bryce is live. That's the one thing, and there's no knock on Zach Thomas. He was a tremendous quarterback for App State and won a bunch of football games. But some of these throws Chase Bryce makes, Zach Thomas couldn't make.
Thomas, the now departed 3-year starter from this roster. A lot of extra effort. Still needs about 1.5 yards there on that run from Peoples. And I think, Dustin, too, that Frank Ponce, the offensive coordinator, has set up Bryce well with routes that give him a lot of options. And so far, Hennigan and Sutton have found their way open.
And they've got better players. I mean, that helps. When you got really good wide receivers that can make plays, it makes a quarterback look good.
Facing their third down of the night. They fake the handoff. Pass complete to the tight end, Miller Gibbs. Had almost the entire defense fooled. Jaquan McMillan, the corner who brought him down, gets the late flag. That should tack on some more to the end of the completion.
Well, they had the entire defense going to the right side, and they come out the gate to Gibbs. And then, of course, he was out of bounds for about 3 steps. Easy call for the official.
After the play, personal foul, number 21, defense. 15 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
So watch, all the linemen are blocking down to the left side. And Gibbs just sneaks out the back. He's out, way out of bounds for about 5 steps. That's such an easy call.
Great field position. App State sits at the 21 with a 1st and 10 after a personal foul. Couple of tight ends, Evans and Gibbs over to the right side. Handoff for Peoples. He's got space. Acres of it, in fact. He's in. Touchdown, Mountaineers. Their 2nd of the opening quarter.
Mike, I don't think he got touched. This was a stretch play off to the right side. Look at this. Everybody blocking down. Does he get touched? No. Free to go at the end. Right to the end zone. Easy touchdown for Cam Peoples. And give a kudos to the guys up front. That offensive line was moving piles.
A 78-yard drive with 15 free ones tacked onto the penultimate play to make it 14-6. Cam Peoples with his first touchdown run of the season. Last year led the Sun Belt, was 10th in the country. And Dustin, you talked about it in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Everybody looks good on teal, whether you got a t-shirt, whether you got jorts on, whether you got an App State football uniform on. But when you go for 317 and 5 touchdowns, you look really good.
And I think the DBs from North Texas are still having nightmares of Cam Peoples running wild in that game. Obviously, that's where Coastal Carolina plays their games, and App State played there last season. But you see Peoples, I mean, I was joking. I said he nearly had 700 yards, but my goodness, over 300 yards for Peoples in that game was tremendous. Set the single game bowl record with 317 and 5 touchdowns. That's more than Al Bundy.
They're already very good at running back. They're without Datrick Harrington, who's got a knee injury. They're hoping to have him back for conference play about a month from now. And Peoples took over as their leading rusher once Harrington got injured last year. A wealth of riches in the backfield for App State is certainly comfort for a new quarterback. Snead from the 5-yard line. And just short of where he would have been had he let it bounce out of the back of the end zone. The beauty of week 1 is that there are 6 consecutive days of college football, and we've got a lot of it. Sunday, 7:30, Notre Dame, Florida State. A couple of new quarterbacks here in this game, and a chance for Mike Norvell's squad to prove something against the number 9 team in the country.
They've got a lot to prove. It has not been pretty for the Seminoles the last couple of years.
Hoping that the elevator this year is headed up in Tallahassee. Ehlers wants the quick throw, and he's got the completion to the perimeter. C.J. Johnson. Looks like he's down about 20 pounds this year, which, hey, look, most of us were up in some form or fashion, and it wasn't muscle during the pandemic year. If you slimmed down, got into some better shape. Good on you for that.
His choice. He wanted to become quicker and faster. And I mean, for a receiver to lose nearly 20 pounds, he was 236 last year. He's listed at 220 now. I mean, it's pretty remarkable.
Ehlers dishing off Johnson once more. As the clock winds down on the opening quarter, here at the Dukes Mayo Classic in Charlotte, North Carolina. App State 14, ECU 6. Optimism reigns supreme in week 1 of the college football season. A couple of standout quarterbacks. The backfields have come to play as well. One in the books in Charlotte. Second quarter at Bank of America Stadium in the Dukes Mayo Classic. An 8-point difference between App State and East Carolina. It's the Pirates in the purple and white on the move. Holton Ahlers on the rollout. His pass is knocked down, and that's not the first time that's happened tonight, Dustin.
No, there's been some really good pressure by the App State defense. That time it was DeMarco Jackson, 52, who gets in there. I thought he had a man open downfield, but Jackson gets home. This defensive front is really, really talented, and they're all back. I mean, from a year ago, this is a team defensively. They were the top scoring defense in the entire Sun Belt. They only give up 20 points a game, Mike, and they're all back. So this is expected for App State because they are a really, really talented defense.
Ahlers runs it on 2nd and 10. He's got the first down and then some. This isn't your average quarterback. Holton Ahlers tumbles down inside the 10. A flag is down, which may negate the run, but watch him run. Number 12 can move.
Holding. Offense. Number 54. 10-yard penalty. Previous spot. Replay. 2nd down.
That's a killer. 54 is Avery Jones, the center, right in the middle of the screen. See the hold? Right there. I don't think it would have mattered if he'd let him go. I don't think he was going to make the tackle. But Avery Jones playing center, was a left guard last year, moves over to center, has had a good camp. But that's a very costly penalty.
So the new man in the middle of the offensive line bears responsibility for that contravention of the college football rule book.
He didn't need the hold.
It's a bit of a dagger on this drive where that would have put them in great position to try and get things at least within one if they dared to go for 2 after a touchdown. Instead, 2nd down, 15 from the 31. Ahlers with an awkward-looking shovel. Beautiful grab by Tyler Snead. Like they're playing backyard football rather than a football with officials, and they get the job done.
The old flip. A little bit of pressure. Gets outside the pocket. Jackson was going to get him for a loss. Good awareness, though, to get it out to Snead. Gives him a chance to pick up this 3rd down.
He's taken over a big role at wideout with the departure of Blake Kroll this year.
App State's showing blitz. Good awareness by Holton Ahlers to catch it and check out or whatever he didn't like.
He takes the snap with just 1 second on the play clock, but there may have been a timeout first.
East Carolina, the first charge timeout of the half.
We'll see what they've got on 3rd and 3 with 13:36 in the second. When you lose just one player, Shamar Jean-Charles, last year, the defense stays pretty good, where they ranked in FBS first in a couple different categories, 16th in the country in points allowed per game at just 20. And so with their front 7 returning, so far pretty good against what has been traditionally a high-scoring ECU outfit.
Big 3rd down here for ECU.
They come out of the timeout, lofted up downfield, and it falls incomplete. The first target of the night for Audi Omotosho. Sean Jolly disappointed he didn't come away with it. This team's going to get possession. It's just going to take one more snap.
This is just terrific coverage. Man coverage down the field. Gets his head turned around and makes a play on the ball. That's what great defensive backs do. And there's a reason why Sean Jolly is being looked at for the National Football League because of plays like that. Once he got in position, got his head turned around, and doesn't look to break up the pass, looks to make the interception. Well done.
Saw several NFL scouts down on the field before the game, assuredly with their eyes on players from both sides. Fair catch for Hennigan, and App State will try and add to its lead. Thousands affected by Hurricane Ida urgently need support. Donate at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover from this disaster, with many still recovering from Laura and Delta last year. redcross.org/ESPN, 1-800-RED-CROSS. It's the Dukes Mayo Classic, Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, North Carolina, part of a huge weekend of college football here in the Queen City. College game day later this weekend as well. I'm Mike Cousins, along with Dustin Fox, the former Ohio State and NFL defensive back. 14-6 the lead for App State, and it very well could be more, save for a tackle by Warren Saba as Nate Noel broke loose there with his eyes on the goal line.
See the shiftiness of Noel. Just a little bit different than Peoples. They actually said Noel's actually better between the tackles, which is surprising for a running back of his stature. And Peoples goes 6'2", 220. Nate Noel is 5'10", $190. That's a big difference. But he is really, I think he's kind of hard to see by the big offensive line. But that was a good run.
Gain of almost 20 there from Noel. Bryce, the keeper, first down. It's been 9 straight years for App State with a 1,000-yard rusher. Far and away the longest streak in FBS, with the second longest being 3. An honor shared by Minnesota, in action right now against Ohio State, and Buffalo as well. First and 10, Noel with the call again. He powers his way all the way to the first down marker.
What's the physicality at the end of this run? Cuts back and then gets low. Low center of gravity, delivers the blow.
A pass whipped to the edge. Malik Williams has it. Late flag.
I think they're going to get Jaquan McMillan for a late hit after the play, number 21. At least it appears he was the one who's in on it, unless they pick it up.
That'd be a second 15-yarder against him in the first half.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 21 defense, 15 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
Tries to let up, but he's already out of bounds. I mean, it's a wrestling move. It's a close call. I can hear the boos from the ECU faithful. Mike, you think it was the right call?
I do. I just worry when he goes back to the sideline, the coaching staff isn't going to be like Alanis Morissette mad. They're going to be like Eminem and Stan mad. On the rollout waiting to throw to the sideline. And
I was waiting for one of your corny jokes. It was good,
well,
though.
We've got several months together, so you just got to grin and bear it. You just got to get used to it.
I love you, Mike.
I am who I am, whether I'm wearing a headset or not. Mike Houston, his third time going into year 3 at Division II Lenoir-Rhyne. He was in first place all 3 years there. His third year at JMU, he'd already won a national championship and was in the postseason every year, trying to work his way back toward 500 at this great outfit in Greenville, North Carolina. It's a sachet along the sideline for the sophomore Christian Wells, who's got some good speed, and this has been a steady march downfield by App State.
I thought for a moment the Pirates were going to get him for a loss. Look at, there's 4 guys there from ECU. Good blocking on the outside by the Mountaineers.
And they're not hesitating, getting right back to the line of scrimmage. It's been a heavy dose of Noel on this drive as well out of the backfield. A couple of former Southern Conference squads go at it tonight, meeting for the first time at the FBS level. 2nd and 8, Noel. And he takes it all the way down to the 3-yard line. 3rd down.
It's a really good block on the outside. You see there's 34 Miles Berry. I think he got shaken up a little bit by the block of Henry Pearson, who goes 6'3", 245. He's a big tight end.
Defense clamps down on Noel. They were ready for the run that time. Xavier Smith, their leading tackler last year, stops him. 4th down. What do?
I would kick it. I'd take the points.
Conventional wisdom agrees with you. There are some right now assuredly saying, let's go for it. We're right there.
Yeah, but you're up 8. Got a chance to make it 11. Which, of course, would force a 2-point conversion maybe at some point by ECU.
Now take the points where you can get them. Chandler Staten with the field goal. It's true. And it's 17-6, App State. They get right to the doorstep. They find it locked, but they have the key under the rock. Gets them 3. A matchup of significant intrigue to wrap up week 1 of college football. Last year, the Rebels led the SEC in total yards, but they also allowed the most. So that's how they got to 5-5. Louisville has Cunningham returning at quarterback, 4-7 last year as they go into year number 3 for Scott Satterfield. Great crowd in Charlotte this evening for ECU and App State. You got 7 FBS programs in the state of North Carolina. Not one of them is playing on a Saturday in week 1. A unique start to the year for sure. Snead, like a pinball, bounces back at the 20, hurdles his way out near the 30. And there's a flag down. Inevitably,
easy hold
that will subtract from his run.
What I love about App State, Mike, is they play their starters on special teams. And you got DeMarco Jackson running down.
During the return, holding, number 3, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down, East Carolina.
DeMarco Jackson was also willing to help in the officiating crew as well.
I think he saw the hold. It's pretty easy on the outside.
Well, the penalties have been more plentiful than they'd like. 5 for 60 yards already, still with 9:05 before halftime for ECU. The junior Ailers and the Pirates take over from the 15-yard line. I'm going to dance back and forth. Raji Harris, who last year had 300-yard games behind this offensive line that allowed the 3rd most sacks in the American Conference. And this year, ECU was picked 8th in the preseason poll in the American, tied with Navy. And you've got real strong teams at the top of this league. The only 2 to get first place votes were Cincinnati and UCF, which is still waiting to kick off tonight against Boise State. Test of the left side. Trey Cobb, the senior, makes the tackle on Harris. So Cincinnati with 22 first place votes, and then UCF sitting at number 2. Cincinnati certainly strong. It's all about quarterback play. They've got it. And Gus Malzahn takes over in Orlando.
I'll tell you, it would be really great to see one of these group of 5 teams run the table and at least have a shot. And I think Cincinnati's got a chance to do that. Desmond Ridder at quarterback is tremendous.
Ehlers was pressured, and the pass to Snead bounced up in the air. Huff, the safety, arrived and helped make sure that it fell to the ground. It's now 4th and 2.
This would have been an easy first down. Snead's in your slot, comes across the middle, just drops it. That's not like Tyler Snead. He's got pretty sure hands on most occasions. That was just a drop. And that just kills. I mean, you would extended the drive. App State's just chomping at the bit now.
And it's just been a little bit of entropy on offense for ECU. They haven't been able to quite get it together since their second drive. Strong punt from Young, but 7:35 in the second, App State in front.
Talk about a debut for Chase Bryce, the transfer from Duke, who threw 15 interceptions a season ago, has been very sharp this afternoon. There was the touchdown to Hennigan. Look at these throws. On a dime, right to the sticks. Very confident, poised in the pocket, has the clock in his head, gets rid of the football, and is having himself a night. 12 of 16 for 118 yards and the 1 touchdown, but 0 interceptions. That's good news for App State.
Dustin, you hit on it earlier in that he made the transfer from Duke here to App State. And although David Cutcliffe, the head coach at Duke, has a great reputation for mentoring quarterbacks who go on to blossom into great careers, there's no question that the talent level surrounding him here is exceedingly different than it was at Duke, and that's got to help him.
People probably wouldn't expect that for a Sun Belt team to have more talent than an ACC team, but that's the truth. App State is a great program that develops wide receivers, running backs. They have tons of skill talent across the board, and it's bountiful for Chase Bryce.
Bountiful is one of those words that we use when we see the cornucopia laid out for the Thanksgiving spread.
We're almost there. Thanksgiving will be here before you know it.
I'm just getting into pumpkin, Dustin. I can't even get to Thanksgiving. Go ahead, please, make your point.
Don't you love when you go to the grocery store in September and they've already got like Christmas stuff out?
Oh, it drives me insane. 3rd and 5. 5 defenders pursue. The throw is right to the sticks. Caught by Virgil. He's up the sideline. Finally ramrodded out of bounds by DJ Ford, the safety. Transfer from North Carolina. Another first down for App State.
This is a 10 to 100-meter guy. Watch his first step. After he catches it, pow, sticks that foot in the ground, and that's all speed on the outside. The coaches referred to Virgil as a Ferrari. He's a little delicate, but he's got the speed.
Beautiful throw on the run from Bryce, and right on target. Everything he's needed to do, he's done tonight. It's Tucker with the catch.
This is just a great throw on the move. Look at this. Beautiful. Between 2 defenders in zone coverage. That's just beautiful.
Look ahead a little bit. App State's going to get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. If they can draw this clock down inside of 2 minutes, 90 seconds, and put some more points on the board here, they really put themselves in great shape to open the second half.
You can see the players, hands on hips for East Carolina, a little gassed. It's a hot, humid night in Charlotte. And it being the first game, I always remember my first game of the season. You never can prepare for what it's like to be out there for an actual game.
Is that first one just guaranteed to be a bit of a gasser?
There's no question. I mean, it's, obviously I played in Columbus, and Columbus in September, it could be humid, it could be in the 90s. I just remember going off on the sidelines every time I had an opportunity and look for those fans that have the spray, the cooling spray. Just to love those things. The Peoples is just pounding this East Carolina defense right now. I mean, their offense has really not been on the field, and that just kills the defense. Almost every almost every player in East Carolina's got their hands in their hips. They're gassed, absolutely gassed right now. Their offense.
It was that last drive where Nate Noel got the bulk of the carries. We didn't see Peoples, so he got a break on that drive. Ready to go to work on this one. A throw to the end zone, and it's a touchdown. Beautiful throw from Bryce, who does it again. It's Miller Gibbs.
This is a throwback. Everything's going to the left. He comes back to his right, sneaks him kind of out of the backfield. Gibbs, that is. And that's not a touchdown. I think that's coming back. I think that right foot was on the white line. Let's take a look right here. Is that foot out of bounds? The question is, does the left foot toe tap prior to the let's see. The left foot is up in the air, and that's not a touchdown, I don't think, Mike. I think it's coming back.
Dustin, I'm in between, because from some angles it looks like the left foot doesn't get down. But here, watch, there might be some spray of the pellets from the turf as the left foot kicks down right there.
Yeah, I think it's in the air.
The problem is that he would need to have firm control of the ball. He does maintain that throughout the catch, but you need indisputable video evidence. Terry Walters, the replay official, is going to have a look at this upstairs as he converses with Jeremy Parker. But the standard in the rule book is indisputable video evidence, and I don't know that that's indisputable.
Well, partner, I'm going to disagree with you. I think you got two good looks at it. And that left foot was in the air as the right foot hits down on the sideline in the end zone. And
based on that, I think the ruling on the field should stand then, because you don't have definitive proof.
I think you do. We're going to have to keep track of our record on the season, Mike.
Keep a tote board for the year.
See, it's in the air. He doesn't have full control of the ball, I don't think. And you hate to see that come back, because that's just a great, great throw by Chase Bryce.
After video review, the pass is incomplete. It'll be second down at the previous spot.
Well, it's understandably disappointing there for App State.
No doubt. Terrific play call and a great throw by Chase Bryce.
And Dustin, the two deep balls that he's thrown tonight that until that moment had gone for touchdowns, were the 34-yard pass in the first quarter to Hennigan, that one there to Miller Gibbs, among a quartet of tight ends we could see on this roster. So Bryce has done a great job. It's a matter of inches. A toe tap on that play could have been 6 more for App State. This is a real short throw underneath for Malik Williams. Clock continues to run inside of 4 minutes.
I'll tell you the one thing that replay did was it allowed East Carolina to have a free timeout, because they were extremely gassed. Now they come back, they get a stop on second down. Now it's 3rd and 9. Not so many guys with their hands on their hips. Got a little bit of water during that break. Now they can come out here and try to get a stop.
Bryce back to throw, 3rd and 9. Pressure comes and eats him up right through the middle, and there was no answer.
That's a different defense, isn't it, Mike? They're fired up. Great pressure. Just absolutely beats Damian Daly on the left side. Watch the little stunt inside, the twist. And then rock the baby, I think.
It's a long field goal try here, but the kick just about bisects the uprights from 43 yards for Chandler State. Well done for him. 2 for 2 when he's been called upon, and they leave just 2:29 on the clock to go along with a 14-point deficit. ECU get the ball back.
I'll tell you what, though, that's a win for the ECU defense, because it looked like App State was they're just going to drive down the field, score another touchdown. This game was going to feel like it was over, but the defense steps up, bows up. They get the sack, get off the field, and Holton Ahlers has plenty of time. My goodness, 2:30 to go. They got plenty of time to go get points before halftime.
And they've shown they can do it. First 2 touchdown drives of the game on both sides were 3 minutes and 2 seconds. And without the same sense of urgency that'll be needed here on what's likely to be ECU's final drive of the first half. Up and away for Snead, who hasn't been one to let things go tonight. But 2 or 3 yards back into his own end zone. Takes a knee. 1st and 10, 25-yard line. Holton Ahlers and this offense get back to it. Ahlers tonight has been 6 of 12, 106 yards, and 1 touchdown. Part of a huge opening weekend. ACC play. North Carolina, one of those gunning for Clemson in the ACC. Alabama and Miami, that'll be the week 2 opponent. The Hurricanes for App State. And in Charlotte, Georgia, Clemson to wrap things up. Notre Dame, Florida State, and then Louisville and Ole Miss conclude week 1 on Monday night. Dustin, it's been a lot of those throws for Ahlers. This is complete to Omo Tosho. The quick looks to the sideline.
There's just not a lot of room. The secondary of App State do a terrific job in their coverage. They've got 2 of the better corners in the entire country, in Stephen Jones and Sean Jolly, and they just lock it down. There's not a lot of room to run in the secondary. I think that may be a cramp, the way that they're stretching out that calf.
That's Brendan Harrington, the junior linebacker from Pittsboro, North Carolina.
I used to cramp up all the time when it was hot. They always said drink pickle juice, but it never worked.
That leads me to the inevitable next question of, and maybe I'm unaware of whether you can buy pickle juice by itself, or do you have to buy a jar, drain it, and then drink what's left, and you have just pickles left in an empty jar? Like, how does that work?
I'm guessing you got to buy the jar and then empty out the pickles. Why don't you just eat the pickles and then drink the juice?
Have a barbecue.
Throw some mayo on it.
It does have that extra southern.
It's got the twang.
First and 10 from the 35. The big southpaw. He's toward the middle of the field on the return. How about that adjustment from Josiah Hatfield, his first catch of the night, and it gets them into App State territory.
We talked with Mike Houston and Donnie Kirkpatrick this week. They said Hatfield has one speed, and that is 100 miles an hour, and you saw something right there.
He's their biggest speed threat. Got to have those catches. Looking for Omo Tosho once more.
Take a look back at that throw to Hatfield. I like the awareness of Holton Ahlers to step up in the pocket. He sensed the pressure on the outside. That's what good quarterbacks do. You feel the pressure, you step up and step into your throw, and that's what Ahlers did. Plenty of time. They moved down half the field already in less than a minute.
ECU won the coin toss. They took the ball to start, so App State's going to get it to open the third quarter, placing even larger importance on at least coming away with 3 points on this drive.
One key, remember, they lost Jake Verity, who was one of the top kickers in the entire country from a season ago. One of the all-time kickers at East Carolina. So they're breaking in a new kicker.
Justin Tucker in Baltimore, very high on Jake Verity, who just got waived a couple of days ago, but it seems inevitable that he'll end up somewhere else.
I'm not going to beat out Tucker. That's a tough one.
Hard to replace, or topple, rather, a legend. Just a three-man rush. Ehlers has lots of options, none of them seemingly very good. His throw to the sideline squirts out of the hands of Hatfield, so it's 4th down and 9. 48 seconds to go.
I think you have to go for this. When you're down 14 points, you're in that no man's land when it comes to kicking a field goal. And when you get a punt, if you punt this, you're going to gain 15 yards net, possibly. I would go for this. I think they're going to.
Great call here. Aggressive, and they only need 9 yards. A turnover on downs. Still a long field for App State. Mitchell in the backfield with Ehlers. Once again, just a three-man rush. He takes off, lowers the shoulder, and picks up the ECU first down. He can do it with his legs when he needs to. He does there. 40 seconds.
I'd call a timeout instead of spiking this. You just cost yourself 8 seconds. I think that was a mistake. Watch the scramble, though. At the end of this run, this is what Holton Ehlers can bring to the table. He lowers the shoulder, he lowers the boom on DeMarco Jackson right there. He would not have got that first down had he slid. He's not a sliding type of quarterback, even though he played baseball growing up. He's going to deliver that blow.
I'm with you. Take the timeout. You got 2 left. How many are you going to need? It's like somebody who goes to fast food restaurant, takes 50 napkins. You can only use so many.
The down's more important than the time.
Assuredly true. Here comes the blitz. 2nd and 10. Ehlers is swallowed up. Down at the 30. Now they've got to use the timeout. They've got 1 left.
When you think about it, had they called the timeout too, they could have gone over to the sideline, regrouped, got together a couple of plays to come back out with 40 seconds to go. Instead, you spike the football, you save the timeout, but then love the call from App State to bring the house. I mean, that's about a 7-man pressure, and Ehlers didn't stand a chance.
And now you're down to 1 more viable snap with the quarterback on the field, lest you have to kick a field goal.
And you lost the down.
It's not to say it'll be the difference between 6 points and 3 points, because they've still got this 3rd down play to go.
Well, they got
Owen Daffer.
They got to pick up half of it, Mike, at least.
Daffer, who has never attempted a field goal at the college level, waiting in the wings.
They got to get. I think they got to get at least to the 20-yard line, Mike.
Yeah, you're looking at a 48-yard field goal about right now. The blitz is on again. Ehlers didn't see it. He's down at the 40-yard line. The pressure from the backside by Tim Frizzell, and that knocks the Pirates out of field goal position.
Just too many bodies. Frizzell comes off the edge from that dog position. Top of the screen right there. You're going to see no one even block him. The right tackle didn't even. You're blocking the blind side of the lefty quarterback. You got to see that coming. It's a great call by App State.
And just a disastrous set of downs for ECU.
Is ECU going to try a long field goal here, or why'd they take a timeout?
Well, they've got Ehlers waiting on the sideline. A jubilant Mountaineers defense. Frizzell in hot pursuit. A senior from Texas, trying to get year number 2 for Sean Clark. Off to a good start.
I guess they're going to try a Hail Mary here, I think. That's the only chance. You're not going to make a field goal from here. I'm surprised they took a timeout. Ehlers has the arm. He can get it to the end zone. Now, if you're App State, you got to put everybody back. Heels on the goal line. You got a guy that goes in the pile. You got a guy that boxes out. And you got someone to knock it down.
Well, Dustin, I never got away with one Hail Mary. It was usually somewhere in the neighborhood of 10. That's my confession. But ECU only has one opportunity here. And now that App State has seen what they want to do, it's another timeout. So the defensive strategy here, Dustin, playing in the secondary, what are you looking for, and what's your best effort to stop the ball from being caught in the end zone?
Well, you're going to put your heels on the goal line. A lot of times teams will put in the tallest guys they've got. Like they'll put wide receivers in the game just to knock the football down. You don't worry about anything underneath. I mean, you can back everybody up, 25 yards at least. You want to throw underneath and get, pad your stats, that's fine. You give it to them all day.
From the 40, this is probably going to have to sail about 50 yards in the air for Ehlers. And he lets it go. It's got the distance. It's tipped up in the end zone and intercepted.
Wow, that was close.
That was anybody's ball in the goal line. And it certainly looked like it came down with Ryan Huff in the secondary for App State as the Mountaineers started to celebrate right when that ball was caught.
They're fighting for it. I think App State comes up with the pick. But, Mike, that was so close to being caught by ECU.
And this is just a sadistic game of Twister here being broken up by the referees.
ECU says they've got the football. Let's see for a signal. You're going to call touchdown? The touchdown! Wow!
ECU!
Wow!
Oh,
are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Mike, a lot of things happen at the bottom of those piles.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
Yeah, good luck reviewing that one. unless you got a camera that can get in the scrum. That was such a great job by ECU, knocking the ball up in the air and giving your other wide receivers a chance at it. There's no way they're going to be able to overturn this, Mike. Trying to see who knocks it up in the air. That's C.J. Johnson who hits it up in the air, and Johnson's the one that comes down with the football. See, right there, he pulls it away. Now, the question I have is, where does he gain possession? Is that ball across the goal line when he comes down?
Well, fortunately for Johnson, the only thing he needs is just the nose of the football to have broken the plane of the goal line when he's got firm possession of it. And given that the call on the field was touchdown, again, let's go back to the ball that was an incomplete pass to Miller Gibbs when App State was looking for that touchdown. You need indisputable video evidence to overturn the call of touchdown ECU. And with the number of limbs and torsos in there, I don't know that you're going to get it to overturn it.
I think this is going to be a touchdown. To your point, Mike, I just think, as you say, you got to have indisputable video evidence, and the call on the field matters in this situation because they called it a touchdown. And by the way,
4 hands on that.
and by the way, how about the arm strength of Holton Ehlers to get it there?
Well, what a fortuitous ruling this would be if it holds for ECU.
Number 21 for Appalachian State had possession of the pass.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how they saw that. I thought that was going to be a touchdown.
There are certainly several thousand at Bank of America Stadium who are in agreement at the moment with Sean Clark.
Do you think they got the call right, Mike? I don't know how they were able to tell who had possession.
I do not agree. I think that the call on the field should have stood. You couldn't confirm it, but I certainly don't think that it was indisputable at the bottom of that pile that the ball was down and in possession.
So there's 21. That's tough.
And you're telling me we've got a clear line of sight to the bottom of the pile with a knee down and one guy in possession of the ball?
That's a tough one to overturn, especially when the call on the field was a touchdown.
But that's the call from Jeremy Parker and company to bring the first half to a close in Charlotte. So a great start for App State after a 9-win season a year ago. And with Miami looming in week number 2, Chase Bryce, 15 of 20, a touchdown. And that is 2 quarters in the books, a 2-touchdown lead. Welcome back to the Dukes Mayo Classic, Charlotte, North Carolina, where combined with Georgia and Clemson's attendance, Bank of America Stadium expects to see more than 100,000 through the turnstiles this weekend. 14 points the difference between ECU and App State after the first 2 quarters. Mike Cousins and Dustin Fox, glad to have you back here with us on this great Thursday evening. What do you think of Chase Bryce, his App State debut in the first half?
I thought he was terrific. I thought he was a little bit nervous early in the game. Then he kind of settled in. They gave him some throws on the move. And he looked way more comfortable getting outside the pocket. 15 for 20 for 156 yards and a touchdown. This was the touchdown to Hennigan on a deep post pattern. And then you watch the throws to the sticks. Those are tough throws to make. They're timing routes. Stands in the pocket, delivers on the money, and then on the move. Look at this. The naked bootleg for the completion. And I'll tell you what, App State's defense has really shown up tonight as well, Mike. I mean, that front 7 has been unstoppable, especially that last drive of the first half where it appeared that East Carolina was going to get something going. They get inside App State territory, then they bring all the pressure. If I'm ECU, the one thing I do at halftime is I consider running some screens. You have to do something to try and offset the pass rush of App State.
Numbers that really stand out here. ECU on 11 carries had just 19 rushing yards, and for Holton Ahlers, he had 8 of those rushing yards. The quarterback, 1 of 7 on third down. Also, 2 of those 5 penalties were personal fouls of the 15-yard variety. So there's a lot to clean up starting in the third quarter for the Pirates. Meanwhile, Chase Bryce and this squad getting ready to go back on offense as East Carolina took the ball to start the game. Each team went 3 and out to start. They traded touchdowns. And if you're just joining us, there was some drama at the end of the first half about a 50-yard heave by Holton Ahlers into this end zone from where this kick is being returned. It was initially called a touchdown on the field. That went to video review. That would have made it a much closer game for ECU. After review, it was ruled an interception, and so that's how the score stands at 20-6.
I'll tell you, I still am surprised that they were able to overturn that call, because on the field, they called it a touchdown. And to have the indisputable video evidence that it was intercepted by App State, I just didn't see. Maybe he did intercept it. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell, but they did on the field rule it a touchdown. So there was a little controversy at the end of the first half.
If the final score goes a different way, that could all be erased. It's a burst to start out to the 40-yard line. Talked a lot about Cam Peoples coming into this game, but Nate Noel has been just as good.
Well, they kind of consider it a dual threat in the backfield. Both are considered starters, and they'll ride the hot hand, but obviously Nate Noel is really good between the tackles. He's got the breakaway speed. Not that Cam Peoples doesn't have great speed too, he does, but they are a perfect complement to each other.
Bryce from the gun hands it off. That run is stopped right at the point of contact. Elijah Morris, the former walk-on freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina, wraps up Noel, no gain.
He got a scholarship after that Temple game last year, and of course inside he really moves the pile and has some athleticism, a little bit of twitchiness to him for a guy who goes 6'1", 283. He's got a bright future.
Notable here in the second half as well, along the defensive line, is that Rick D'Abreu returns at the defensive tackle spot for ECU. He had to miss the first half with a targeting foul that carried over from last year. And you'll see that around college football this season, guys who will miss a little bit of time. So there's D'Abreu, the sophomore from Chester, Virginia. A welcome addition, well rested after those first 30 minutes on the sideline.
Yeah, they need him. He's their best pass rusher.
Plenty of time for Bryce, who had to roll and throw across his body. Tough one, looking for Corey Sutton. And ECU's defense gets what it needs. That's the offense off the field.
I think what they needed was a little bit of a halftime breather, because they were on the field the entire first half. We'll take a look as Bryce is on the run. And I don't even know if he got his hand on it, but the ball just a little bit overthrown for his target there, Corey Sutton.
Sabach with the punt for Snead. Fair catch inside the 15-yard line.
That's a good start for the ECU defense. There's Holton Ahlers. Let's take a look at this quarterback matchup tonight. Holton Ahlers 9 for 18, buck 46, the one interception. Not good. Could have been a touchdown though. But of course Chase Bryce, to me he's been really impressive. 16 for 22, 160 yards and a touchdown. He's been really on the money all evening.
The App State quarterback led the FBS level with 15 interceptions last year. So far, so good. It's a long field now for the Pirates. And they started with a handoff. Testing the left side. Keaton Mitchell stumbles forward to the 25-yard line. He and Raji Harris have split carries tonight out of the backfield. The past few years, the Pirates, their biggest question has been, can they defend? It's never been, can they score? Keaton Mitchell turns on the Jets again and gets tripped up 35-yard line.
Watch the speed of Mitchell. Gets a good kick-out block there on the outside from Shane Calhoun, and then it's off to the races. You saw his first touchdown and how he outran the angles. He has got some speed.
After a run of 39 yards, Ahlers had to throw off his back foot, trying to hit Shane Calhoun. And does not look like the first tight end target tonight for ECU.
And Calhoun's just a freshman. He's a pretty big recruit for ECU. Had about 7-8 offers coming out of high school. They like him.
Mike Houston, the first time in his 3 years that he's reached the full scholarship allotment of 85 players on a full ride. A lot of departures in the wake of Scotty Montgomery's tenure as the head coach. Houston looking to fill those voids with guys that he thinks will live up to his style of football.
Well, Raji Harris, he's got some good quickness in the hole. There's Mike Houston.
And ECU really is still chasing the glory years of when Ruffin McNeil was there. After one bad year, they got rid of him. I don't think it was a good decision. Scotty Montgomery's 3 years, they went 9-27, never seemed to be on the right footing. And with Mike Houston, a very successful coach at the D2 and FCS level, they've got their guy. Year 3 is a crucial one. So 4th down by 14, 5 yards to go. They're at the 31, Dustin. What do you see?
Well, you got to go for it. I mean, you're not going to kick a field goal at this point. It's not the end of the first half like we saw the Hail Mary. But I'm looking for Tyler Snead. Where's 22 at? The sure-handed receiver who plays the slot. I may get him in motion or something.
Ehlers might run it as well. We've seen him do that already today. He tucks it, takes off, capable on the move. And the third-year starter at quarterback does it again.
Good call, partner. This is a read option where he was going to either throw it there to the flats, of course, and decides I've got a little bit of room here. I can pick up this first down, and he does. He's got tremendous athletic ability.
Well, they haven't been great on 3rd down tonight. Just 1 of 8, but 4th down so far, they've been able to get the job done as they're looking to get back in this game down by a couple of scores. A tangle of arms and limbs trying to bring Rajee Harris down. He gets a couple through the middle.
The great thing about Rajee Harris is he always makes the first man miss. And that's a great sign of a really talented running back. For a guy his size, at 5'10", 230, to make Marco Jackson was in the backfield before Harris even got the football. Harris gets the ball and just does a little sidestep. That's a great move.
After accumulating just 19 yards on the ground in the first 30 minutes of play, it's 66 yards rushing in the second half by ECU, as they now have the opportunity to do what App State did to them, keep the defense on the field and put some hands on some hips.
And in this 3rd and 8 situation, I don't think you have to get it all, because I'm not comfortable if I'm Coach Mike Houston in kicking a field goal with the freshman kicker. So I think you've got a couple plays here to pick up the 8 yards.
Mountaineers show blitz and they bring it. Ehlers has to get rid of it quickly and tosses it too tall for the 5'7" Snead. If he were 6 feet, that might be a first down. Instead, it's a 4th down.
They're going to try the field goal, but with the freshman kicker down 14 points, I would say go for it again. But you're right. If Tyler Snead is an inch or two taller, he's going to have that as a first down. See big old Demetrius Taylor getting in there for the pass rush.
So this is Owen Daffer, a 38-yard try, the first of his college career. Got plenty of leg on it. It's a wobbler, but it's true. And it gets ECU 3 points, now down 20-9 as they slice the deficit to 11. They went for it on 4th down earlier. This time didn't feel comfortable. And the freshman replacing an ECU kicking legend, Daffer, is pure. Here's a proposition for you. Labor Day weekend, let us handle the labor part. You handle the weekend part. A great slate of games for you. Alabama, Miami, followed by Georgia, Clemson on ABC. Notre Dame and Florida State Sunday night to lead you into a week 1 capper with Louisville and Ole Miss. Mike Cousins, Dustin Fox, ECU trailing 20-9 against App State in Charlotte, part of the Dukes Mayo Classic in the opener for both of these squads. A field goal for ECU gets them to within 11, and it's back to work for Chase Bryce at quarterback. The App State first-year starter, 23 years old. From Duke, but a couple years ago was at Clemson against Syracuse. A year after the Orange had knocked off the number 2 Tigers, Trevor Lawrence gets hurt. Chase Bryce comes in, leads them on a couple of second-half scoring drives. When you got Travis Etienne, you just hand it off. It's a touchdown. He keeps the Tigers undefeated, and they go on to win the college football playoff that season. Bryce tonight has been a solid 16 of 22 for $160 and a touchdown, Dustin.
Yeah, I think he's been impressive. I mean, for the most part, he doesn't look like the quarterback we saw at Duke who threw 15 interceptions. He looks calm, collected in the pocket. I think that App State's giving him some simple reads and moving him outside the pocket where he appears to be more comfortable on the move. But so far, he's been impressive.
He said upon his departure from Duke, the schools that reached out to him among the group was Arkansas State, UAB, which we saw play last night, a beautiful Wednesday college football game. Here's a deep shot. Thomas Hennigan, beautiful catch across the middle, taking it to the sideline and out of bounds inside the 20. Second time it's been a deep ball to Hennigan this evening. He caught a 34-yard touchdown in the first quarter and goes for 69 here.
It's a great route, just a post in man coverage by Hennigan, and you can see he's got his speed back. He looks like a different player than he did a season ago.
Hustling to the line of scrimmage, Sutton the grab at the edge, and the extra effort. Touchdown, App State.
Well, there's a reason why you can't kick field goals against App State. They just are too talented on offense. That was quick. Right down the field to Hennigan. And then an easy throw on the outside by Sutton, who makes Blake Fleming miss and just walks into the end zone for an easy score. Just like that. 86 yards. Can't score much faster than that, Mikey.
34 seconds. It takes longer for a chip reader on a credit card at the convenience store than it did for that drive right there by App State. Taking control here in the third, 27-9 over their in-state foe from Greenville. The implications for the college football playoff began in week 1 this year. Just a few years ago, a top 5 matchup to open the season, Alabama, Florida State. Bama goes on to win it all. Florida State, well, you know the rest of the story since 2017. Clemson, unlike Georgia, though, does not have another currently ranked team on their schedule. So there's a lot on the line. That'll be in Charlotte, Bank of America Stadium, where these teams are playing tonight, where the announced crowd was almost 37,000. So you're looking at, over the span of a couple of days, more than 100,000 people, more than likely, filing into Charlotte. College game day coming to Charlotte this week as well. A huge weekend for college football. Well, Dustin, it's a steep uphill climb at this point for ECU. Could be a little bit different, dating back to the final play of the first half. Holton Ahlers rolls out. He's got to throw about 50 yards in the air to the end zone, and it looks like this ball is intercepted. It's called a touchdown on the field and then overturned with video review. And I think you and I were both a little stunned that, given the call on the field, that did get overturned.
Yeah, I mean, just because the call on the field was a touchdown made me think it was too tough to overturn. And if you have another touchdown on the board here, it's a much, much different game than it is right now. It kind of feels like this thing could get away from ECU rather quickly, but we'll see. Holton Ahlers he's got a cannon. He's got to take some shots down the field, though.
Looked like he wanted to. And he gets wrapped up at the 29-yard line. Clearly what ECU has done to this point offensively has not gotten the job done. What can they do better or differently to get back into it?
The one thing that I would say is once in a while, run a screenplay. App State's bringing a lot of pressure. The one thing just to kind of offset that is to run a screen and try to set it up, obviously. It's tough against this defense, but I think that would slow down the pass rush of Appalachian State.
Second and 6.
That was a
Didn't seem like anybody knew where that was going because C.J. Johnson was ducking. So now it's 3rd down and 6. The screenplay could be effective, like when you're throwing the tennis ball to the dog in the backyard and they think you're going to throw it and you just hold on to it and they wonder where it went. It's effectively what ECU should be trying to pull off at this point.
Is that what you do with your dog, Peanut?
She is an avid hound.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity here, Mike, on 3rd and 6. Or give Holton Ahlers a chance to run for the first down.
All right, from the backfield, it's Raji Harris. who stiff arms his way out of bounds, denying Ryan Huff, the third-year starter, a tackle. Drive stays alive, 7.5 in the third.
Let's talk about Harris. Watch him make the first man miss. Whoop. The L1 button to jump inside, jump cut, and picks up the first down. I like that call. And it was a really good awareness by Holton Ahlers because the pressure was coming off the left side, and Harris is wide open.
It's another short throw. Johnson turns it into almost a first down there along the edge. Johnson, the leading receiver tonight in terms of catches for ECU. Keaton Mitchell, the running back with the lone touchdown, caught through the air.
Doesn't make DeMarco Jackson miss.
No room to run, no room to breathe. Flag does come down on the tackle from DeMarco Jackson.
Offside. Defense. Number 29. In the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Linebacker Brendan Harrington responsible for the fabric on the field there with 6.5 to go in the third.
Bottom of the screen, he's coming on the blitz. Just kind of gets caught in the neutral zone. We'll take 1st and 5, right?
Blitz off the edge. Ahlers withstood it for just a moment. And after the penalty on Harrington, he quickly makes up for the mistake.
They ran the same defensive call. I mean, they just come right back with it, and nobody on that left side sees Harrington come. Well, look at this. They're all trying to double team down on Taylor, and no one looks outside and sees Brendan Harrington. Harrington's a really good player for this defense, kind of a hybrid. But they depend on him tremendously to blitz and cover. He's good at both.
This offensive line was a little bit leaky last year. They gave up the 3rd most sacks in the American Athletic Conference in 2020. After a loss of 7, toss across the middle, and it stopped at the point of contact and quickly rushed backwards. Another 3rd down for the Pirates.
Harrington is all over the field. Just makes the sack on the previous play and comes right back and makes the stop on 2nd down.
It was 1st down and 5. The Pirates regress to 3rd down and 9.
App State looks like they're bringing pressure again on 3rd and 9.
Just a 4-man rush with a stunt up the middle. But they flush Ahlers out of the pocket, continues to go backwards. A desperation heave is tipped and incomplete. 4 rushers, 5 offensive linemen, and ECU could not withstand the pressure.
I'll tell you, Avery Jones, the centers, he's having a hard time with that front. I mean, between Taylor, Earl, and Sperlin, they're getting a lot of pressure. Just 3-man rush on Holton Ahlers. And what looked like a promising drive, they had 1st and 5, goes backwards with the sack, and then the pressure again on 3rd down.
John Young trying to land one inside the 20. It's bobbled by Hennigan, and with 3 Pirates behind him, he is quite fortunate to fall on top of that at the 5 because the Pirates were ready to pounce. A big opening weekend of college football continues. Friday night action in the ACC. A top 10 team, North Carolina, with Sam Howell at the helm. Always dangerous. Mac Brown against the Hokies. Number 1 Alabama against number 14 Miami. Georgia and Clemson in Charlotte. Notre Dame, Florida State, and Louisville and Ole Miss to round things out. We're going to see a lot of new quarterbacks around college football, especially for some prominent programs, Dustin. And speaking of new quarterbacks, it's been Chase Bryce continuing that thread here as he has been nothing short of exceptional in his Mountaineers debut.
I'll tell you, East Carolina's bringing pressure, trying to get something on Chase Bryce. They just can't get home, and Bryce is having really good awareness in the pocket, especially in the last one to get that football out before the pressure got home.
False start. Number 70, offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
All in all, for a week 1 game, the penalties have not been too bad today.
Except for the personal fouls on ECU, 2 out-of-bounds late hits.
Yeah, those 2 fouls on Jaquan McMillan, accounting for 50% of the total penalty yardage against ECU. Good lane for Nate Noel, who when he runs is at 100 miles an hour from the time he touches the ball. And looks like he's limping a little bit as he comes off there. Maybe it was just out of his shoe.
I think he just lost his shoe. Can't say enough good things, though, about the job Sean Clark has done here at App State. He's an App State lifer. I mean, he's an offensive line coach by trade, and he comes in and he says the expectations here are, 9 wins is not enough for App State. They expect championships every single season, and they look poised for another one this year.
Cam Peoples sees an opening and takes it. I don't know about you, Dustin, but that caught me a little bit off guard when Sean Clark told us earlier in the week, 9-3 without a championship. It's disappointing for us. That's not a good year.
It's not. I mean, they expect more at App State. I mean, since 1989, they've only had 2 losing seasons, and one was the FCS transition year. And of course, he talked about, like, in 1995, they went undefeated, and that really changed the trajectory of the program. And since 95, I mean, you see what they've done. They beat Michigan, which was one of the huge wins for App State. And of course,
that anniversary was yesterday.
It was. There's a lot of people in Ohio that don't forget that game, too.
Hands to the face. Number 53, defense. The 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
And last week, Coach Clark sent out a tweet of some logs of flame. And it's a tradition that started with Coach Jerry Moore. He said going all the way back to 1989, staff went out, had a little bit of a gathering. It was a group talk. And he'd bring some kind of motivational words for them, try and relate it to football. 32 years later, their whole staff is there. It's a time for them just to get away. He says, we'll usually do it on Wednesday evenings. We'll get some food, usually fast food. But hey, it's not about the food. It's about the camaraderie. And I don't know,
get some cheeseburgers and have a little fire. And
maybe it's a little bit of both.
Talk about life. And he says it's not just all football. They talk about becoming a better husband, being a better father, and being there for your family and things like that. And obviously, it's pretty special and a tradition that they keep here at App State.
And if you're not immersed in the football life, you might be surprised just how immersed the people who work in it and live it are. Because I could tell you that, an entire continent sunk into the ocean last week, and somebody on a college football staff might say, you know what, hadn't heard about it, because you're just living and breathing your next game. And so that's a cool way for them to find a little bit of perspective and step back once a week. He said that's even spread now to the staffs at Louisville and Missouri, where former head coaches from App State have gone.
That's right. Big third down here coming up for the ECU defense. They've got to find a way to get off the field. This 18-point deficit isn't going to just disappear. They've got to get the football back here quick. And if you're App State, you probably start milking a little clock.
They take the play clock all the way down to 1. The pressure does come. The outlet pass is thrown. Noel with the grab. He's tackled by Nolan Johnson. As the pressure came up the middle, the relief was to the edges, but 4th down is on the way.
Along with the 4th quarter on the way. App State's been really impressive here for the opening game of the season.
With Bryce replacing Zach Thomas, threw for 2,200 yards, 20 touchdowns. Ran for 300 more and was the starter from 2018 up until last year.
You know what's funny about Sean Clark? You know, last year was his first year, and every game, no fans. So they come out to the Rock in Boone, and they've got no fans. So this game's got to feel like the Super Bowl to Sean Clark.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay. 4th down.
If nothing else, the adrenaline surge that must come along with running out to a stadium that's filled with fans who want to see you, who have been waiting for more than a year to see you, has got to be one of the greatest feelings, because you just cannot match the energy and enthusiasm in a live sporting event at a big stadium.
No question.
A bobbled snap, but Sabac puts it into the air. Snead calls for the fair catch at the 12-yard line. This is the Dukes Mayo Classic. And football and mayonnaise, I think, Dustin, everyone knows that they go really well together. In fact, they're just fun things to talk about. The Dukes Mayo Classic will also continue with Clemson and Georgia on Saturday. If you didn't know that Duke's Mayo is the official condiment of the tailgate, now you certainly know. And I will tell you what, Dustin, there is nothing that goes with football like soybean oil, eggs, water, distilled and cider vinegar, salt, paprika, natural flavors, and calcium disodium EDTA.
I have
That's what
no
everyone
idea
says every year.
Know all the ingredients in the Duke's Mayo. All I know is it's got that twang, and I want a sandwich right now.
It's got that something special, that twang. App State's defense has certainly brought something extra tonight, as they have been everywhere that Holton Ahlers has wanted to go. They clog up the backfield and send this one to the fourth quarter, 27-9 for these Mountaineers, who went 9-3 a year ago, but that's not good enough. 1-0 is in their sights, and it's 15 minutes away if they can keep it up. It's loud in Charlotte. Bank of America Stadium. ECU and App State opening their seasons tonight. The Pirates a first quarter touchdown, but they've netted just 3 points since. And time is of the essence. Holton Ahlers on the move. A little slow to get up there for the third-year starter.
Stephen Jones comes up from his cornerback spot and really delivers a boom on him. Helmet to helmet. That didn't look good.
Was it shoulder to helmet or helmet to helmet?
I thought it was helmet to helmet. Let's take a look.
Oh, yep.
Ooh, that could be considered a potential review. That was big.
I'd be surprised if it doesn't get stopped, Dustin.
I am surprised.
Yeah, because the way that the rule is written is, you know, when in question, it is a foul for targeting. And he was a defenseless player at that point going down. And the replay booth has the ability to stop the game at any point to review it. I'm surprised that they didn't at least take a look.
Does Jones lower the crown of his helmet? Slightly.
You could make the argument for it.
I think you can make the argument, and leads with the helmet.
Injured App State player just a minute into this fourth quarter.
Just to Marco Jackson.
As we stepped away, the player for App State who was temporarily felled was the linebacker DeMarco Jackson. And fortunately, it looked like just a crimp. So he comes off 4th and 8. ECU unable to secure any points. And again, once again, under pressure, calls for the fair catch. And he's got it. at the 39-yard line. Well, 13:48 to go. ECU has been unable to put a touchdown on the board after it got into the end zone in the first quarter. And like we saw on that last drive, we'll imagine the Mountaineers will draw the clock down quite a bit here, as much as they can.
I would imagine a steady dose, steady diet of Cam Peoples and Nate Noel. With the 18-point lead, and the way they've been running the football, as effective as it has been, I'd try to chew as much clock as you can.
161 yards on the ground tonight for the Mountaineers. They've averaged a little bit over 6 yards a carry. And Bryce is 20 of 26 for 259 yards and 2 touchdowns. They've scored in every quarter, 14 in the first, 6 in the second, and 7 more in the third. Each of the last 3 seasons now, App State has led FBS programs in the state of North Carolina in wins. And if you go back to the start of the 2015 season, they are among the best teams in college football. There's another opening for Nate Noel. He's dancing along the sideline, and a stiff arm for good measure at the end of that play as he buried Miles Berry. Insult to injury.
He was shot out of a cannon on this play, and Berry doesn't know whether to turn around or do. He's just trying to get him on the ground, pushes him out of bounds. You're right, with the stiff arm for good measure by Nate Noel. He's got some speed. Coaching staff at App State and Frank Ponce, the OC, said he's the guy that can take it the distance, and he nearly did just there.
8 yards a carry tonight for Noel, so hand him the ball, and it's nearly a first down every time. Hand Peoples the ball, and it's a touchdown this time.
Well, what can't this App State offense do? They've been throwing all over ECU, then they come back. They're just trying to milk some clock. Nate Noel goes down inside the 15-yard line. Then Cam Peoples, that great 1-2 punch in the backfield for App State, comes in and just barrels his way into the end zone. And that was, 3 plays, 60 yards? Minute 29. That just about may do it, Mike.
And it's not the first time they've had a scoring drive south of 2 minutes. Chandler Staten, he doesn't kick it, but App State has nowhere to go with that. Not a beauty, but nevertheless, their advantage 33-9 may be insurmountable at this point. Noel and Peoples, that duo is getting it done. A chance for many outside Bank of America Stadium today to visit with the National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. 2 of the front runners for that trophy will be playing in Charlotte Saturday night. Georgia and Clemson. App State over East Carolina 33-9 here early in the fourth quarter. Perhaps a party crasher to the college football playoff picture. Certainly the New Year's 6 could be from the Sun Belt this year. We talk about that Georgia-Clemson game as one of the most consequential of this opening weekend. But in the Sun Belt, App State is hoping to be one of those top teams come the end of the year. Coastal Carolina will certainly be in the mix as well. And don't count out Billy Napier's Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Ball is loose on the return from Snead as he was going down. No official signal yet, and it belongs to App State. A difficult night just got a little bit worse for ECU.
Boy, talk about adding insult to injury. They just can't stop shooting themselves in the foot. Take a look at this hit here. This is Snead, very sure-handed wide receiver, kick returner, and that's definitely a fumble. Looks like Anderson Castle was on Johnny on the spot there.
It's unexpected from a player of Snead's caliber who this coaching staff trusts implicitly. Peoples, fresh off the touchdown run, gets swarmed there, nearly lost the ball at the end of the run. He's marked down, and a loss of 1 for Cam Peoples. So in the Sun Belt, there is a huge game very early on this season, and that comes Saturday, Louisiana against Texas. That's where if Louisiana gets off to a good start, they're going to have a couple important games in their way. Ohio from the MAC is one of the top teams in that league this year, and App State. But a team from the Sun Belt has never made a New Year's Six game, and they give themselves instant credibility out of the gate if they can knock off the Longhorns in Steve Sarkisian's first year.
We've got 3 teams that really have a shot.
Ruling on the field as the runner was down. Previous play is under further review.
Between Coastal, Louisiana, and App, there's a great chance one of these teams could run the table, but take a look. I think he was down.
On a heave to the end zone, Chase Bryce, who's had nearly a perfect night, is intercepted by ECU's Jaquan McMillan, nearly making up for a couple of big 15-yard penalties earlier. Couple of consequential plays back-to-back. Cam Peoples had a near fumble. It went to video review, and the call was upheld as a not fumble. And then Chase Bryce goes end zone and gets it taken away.
They're playing a little bit of cover 2. And the corner McMillan just drops back on the 7 route and picks it off. And you ever heard the expression, ball don't lie? Because they did say that was not a fumble on the previous play. We kind of thought it was. So nonetheless, East Carolina has football back.
Mike Cousins, Dustin Fox with you. The season opener for East Carolina and App State. ECU out of the American Conference, coming off a year where they went 3-6. Their 6th straight losing season, with their last time above 500 all the way back in 2014, tied for 8th in their conference's preseason poll. And App State was 9-3 a year ago, picked as the co-champion of the East in the Sun Belt this year, along with Coastal Carolina. So Dustin Holton-Ahlers tonight, ECU's quarterback, has been good, but not good enough. The offensive line certainly part of that. They've had ample opportunity to reach the end zone in the second half, and they have failed to do it thus far.
Well, if East Carolina wants to get back in this game, they better hurry up. Those 2-yard runs are not going to get it done. Ahlers is really good in the 2-minute offense, too. I don't know why they don't just run a little bit of up-tempo, no-huddle offense, and let Ahlers just kind of take some shots down the field.
Now, it seemed to be to their advantage at this point. We go inside 10 minutes to play, and they're going to need several scores and several stops to make this a game again. As you touched on coming into the third quarter, the play calling has not drastically changed in the second half. That's why the score has not drastically changed either.
No. I'd say it could have been a different ball game, though, had they allowed that Hail Mary at the end of the first half to stand as a touchdown. Things may have been a little bit different here in the second half, because obviously ECU came out, they got the stop and had a nice drive, but only got 3 out of it.
Ahlers was set up for a long throw. He takes the sideline toss. Raji Harris, the running back, run out of bounds. Pirates are cooking with a little bit of gas here in the fourth quarter.
They're not huddling, but they're taking a lot of time.
Just a shade over 50% tonight for Ehlers, who last year was north of 60. There they set up the screen. It's Harris on the run. A beautiful play and a violent collision that brings it to an end with Stephen Jones, the cornerback.
Been calling for the screen the whole game. Finally did it. It was a nice play by East Carolina.
Only took 3.5 quarters.
Banged up. Yeah, it took 3.5 quarters to get him to run something to get that pressure to slow down. And I think we got more cramps, Mike. We were told on Twitter that they do sell pickle juice by the jar.
That's a reference to, if you've been with us through the entire night, Dustin said earlier when he was in his playing days and got cramps, he was encouraged to drink pickle juice. And thanks to the astute detectives on Twitter, we've been alerted to the fact that you can buy pickle juice in juice boxes. You're never too old to learn something new. And even with 90 minutes left in the Eastern time zone today, I have learned something new. I only was down to my last hour and a half, but I learned something new.
Do you think people would buy pickle juice just to enjoy? Like, man, this pickle juice just tastes so refreshing, or is it just for athletes?
It's capitalism at its finest. They wouldn't sell it if nobody was buying it. I mean, don't tell me you don't walk through the aisles of the grocery store and you look at stuff and you go,
you just give them pickle juice? You're going to love it.
There's stuff when you walk through the aisles of the grocery store and you look at it and you go, come on, who buys this thing? But somebody buys it, otherwise it wouldn't be on the shelf.
This is true. I think they may be reviewing targeting at the end of this play. It was Nick Ross who comes in, delivered a big hit. Yeah, I think that it was number 4, Nick Ross. At the very end, Raji Harris takes a big-time lick right here. Ooh. And it was loud, too.
Yep.
That's targeting.
You've got your indicator of a lowered helmet. He leads with his helmet, and then he makes forcible contact with the crown of the helmet. Should be targeted.
After video review, personal foul, targeting, number 4, Appalachian State. Add 15 yards to the end of the run, and number 4 is disqualified. First down, ECU.
Yeah, that was a loud hit that you could hear throughout the stadium. And you know why? So helmet to helmet.
The unfortunate news for Nick Ross is that his day is done, and he'll also be suspended for the first half of their game against Miami next week. But that pretty much fits the textbook definition of indicators of targeting and forcible contact made with the crown of the helmet.
You may see that pretty easy
call.
Next year.
And that's why that call was made so quickly, because of how many red flags it did raise for the officials. Makes it 1st and 10 from the App State 24. ECU trying to make it a comeback here in game number 1. Slant pattern, Josiah Hatfield, their speediest receiver.
One score at a time. Crazier things have happened, but they got to come away with 6, and they got to pick up the pace. So Madison Cone comes in for Nick Ross, by the way, the transfer from Wisconsin. So he's filling in at strong safety, number 12.
With Snead in motion out of the backfield. Mitchell, he's got their only touchdown of the night, and he gets them that much closer inside the 10-yard line. Mike Houston is placing a lot of faith in his defense's ability to get the ball back here in the 4th quarter. The amount of time they're taking on this trip toward the end zone. Ehlers rolls. He's got just one good option, His other is to throw it out of the back of the end zone. An intentional incompletion makes it 2nd and goal.
That was well played by Jalen McLeod on the outside. Did not take the fake at all and forces Ehlers to get outside the pocket and throw it away.
What do you think ECU's best option is 2nd and goal?
Holton Ehlers, quarterback draw. Go empty set like this right here. Perfect. Spread everybody out. And I thought Ehlers just take it himself.
They spread it out here.
I just run. I do quarterback draw.
Yep, 3-man front. He's back and looks to throw. And bounces it up the middle. Would have been a nice ground ball for a shortstop. It accomplishes little. Down 33-9. And it wasn't the call there, but had he taken off, there was certainly some avenues to be taken.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest plays of the night for ECU in 4-down territory. Ehlers with time in the pocket. Now he's flush, thinks about running, throws to the end zone. Touchdown ECU. The tight end, Shane Calhoun, makes the grab. And it's 33-15.
Just want to make sure he was not across the line of scrimmage. I think that might be coming back.
A flag on the 10th play of the Pirates drive.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 5. 15 yards. Previous spot. Replay. 3rd down.
Well, that hurts. I thought he was close to passing the line of scrimmage, too. I mean, that was a good throw by him, but obviously the OPI is going to bring him back.
I'm not sure what's going to keep Mike Houston up the most tonight. Is it going to be the penalties?
It's the penalties, man.
The reviews that didn't go their way? There's going to be a lot of options after week 1.
Lots of teaching tape. And the good news is they play Thursday, week 1, and they get a little bit of extra time before they come back on a Saturday.
Ehlers after the penalty from the 20 throws up the sideline, but that's an incomplete pass. Keaton Mitchell was out of bounds, now 4th and goal. You know, among the strange things that coaches are asked, sports media not exactly known for its deep inquiries of coaches. You know, somebody asked in week 1, is it give you some trouble scheduling wise to have a Thursday game? Like, it's week 1. You're coming out of training camp. I don't think there's anything about it.
It throws off the rhythm because your days are off in terms of your preparation, but you're right. It is week 1, so you can get right back on schedule this weekend. Give the guys a couple extra days off, come back on Sunday, and then start your work week for the next Saturday game.
So, ECU wants to get to 12 points, they say. $33-9, 6:29 4th quarter. For those who might be wondering, as an ECU fan, well, why are we kicking a field goal here, Dustin? It's effectively a white flag and the opportunity to get a freshman kicker another try.
Yeah, this will be his 2nd career attempt, and obviously App State thinks they may fake it, but they want to see if the rookie can kick in a big-time environment. So he gets the 2 field goals tonight, and it's a 21-point game with 6.5 to go.
Just some crucial penalties.
You disagree with kicking there?
I think that a coach would tell you, if you were to give a coach a hypothetical, you're down 33-9, 6.5 to go 4th quarter, you've got 2 timeouts left. Do you think your team has lost? No coach is going to say, yeah, I give up. I'm going to tell our guys, hey, it's over. But effectively, with that play call, that's what you're saying. If you're not going for the touchdown there, I think.
Well, now let's see if they do onside kick, because if you do an onside kick, it tells you that they just needed to get the points and try to cut it to a 3-score game.
You got to have a lot of things that are going to go right.
I understand that, but if you kick it deep, that's the white flag. I don't think Mike Houston's a white flag kind of guy.
I think he's a Jolly Roger kind of guy. He's a no quarter kind of guy, as they say. He said we got 10 guys on the field. Sean Clark needs one more guy. Timeout.
What am I doing here?
And that's why you count.
Coach Clark is upset because he's the head football coach. He shouldn't have to count who's on the field.
Everybody's in on the act now. Is there an abacus on the sideline where they could get to 11? I mean, all you really need to do is just get a spinal tap coordinator and say these go to 11. That's how many we need on the field. Well, somebody's in trouble. Even a win can't be perfect.
Up 21 points, 6.5 to go. Coach is still coaching like it's the first quarter.
Daffer, the redshirt freshman out of Wilmington, North Carolina. Home to more than a few movies and TV shows filmed on location. Kicked the field goal, now ready to kick it away. Dustin, they kicked it deep.
That's surprising.
Two-headed monster tonight out of the backfield. Starts with Cam Peoples. They looked up and saw a star shining in the east beyond them far. The first and only Noel that they needed tonight was Nate.
And then Cam Peoples comes in. It's a 1-2 punch with this App State running attack. And both of these guys are just super dynamic. You see Nate Noel with his little shiftiness down the field, and then he comes out of the game, and in comes Peoples, breaks 3 tackles, and finds his way to the end zone. And the good news is, for App State fans, the Mountaineers, they're only sophomores.
And with last year's extra year of eligibility, that gives guys the extra year. Some people may think last year, if you were a senior, you got that extra year of eligibility. Not the case. Anybody who was on a roster last year gets that extra opportunity. Noel over 100 yards. Peoples well on his way there. Just a couple more carries should get him there. I think the most interesting thing for this team will be when they get Datrick Harrington back come conference play. It's what they expect. Is they've got 9 straight years with a 1,000-yard rusher. Who's that guy going to be?
Maybe both. How about Bear Hunter?
An impossible proposition.
By the way, how about Bear Hunter in the middle of this offensive line, switches over to play center? One of the best names in college football. You and I picked out a couple other ones before the game. I like General Booty and Buck Coors. And I picked Buck Coors as well.
George Georgopoulos, I didn't know that he also plays at UMass because he's great on Good Morning America, too.
General Booty is a real name, by the way.
It is. That is a long lineage of people in the Booty family. You remember John David Booty, who is a two-time, I want to say Rose Bowl champion at USC. And so that is a phenomenal football family and just one of the latest to reach the college level coming out of high school in Texas.
Well, it looks like App State's going to punt. East Carolina's going to get the football back. They better hurry.
This will be Xavier Sabac, the senior from Melbourne, Australia. He's played in every game for the Mountaineers since 2017. With a southpaw stroke, he lets it fly for Snead, who takes it at the 25-yard line. The only college football game on the schedule on Sunday is a 90s rivalry rekindled. Number 9 Notre Dame takes on Florida State in Tallahassee. That's 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app, as Notre Dame see a new signal caller this year.
You stand corrected on Sunday. The Red Tail Classic as well on Sunday night, Mike.
Should say the only FBS college football game on the schedule. You and I will be on the call.
Yes, sir.
You're on ESPN Youth, the Red Tails Classic. Tuskegee and Fort Valley State going head-to-head.
It's going to be a fun one. Transfers, both of them. Mackenzie Milton from UCF. Jack Cohn, remember him playing at Wisconsin? How about the 72 touchdowns from Mackenzie Milton? It's just incredible.
Just
had that devastating
insane
leg
numbers.
injury. And, yeah. Just
playing under Scott Frost, and perhaps both of them, maybe after a week, depending on how that game goes, will be reminiscing of their time in Orlando. Of course, a lot of the college football discussion over the first couple days, having that week 0 game, Nebraska and Illinois. It's one of those things where when you're in the spotlight and there's no other games going on yet, even though Nebraska and Illinois are not necessarily going to be in the race for the top of the Big Ten, they get discussed a lot just because that's what's going on.
right. Good throw.
Ehlers across the middle. A tumble toward midfield. Gets ECU a nice chunk there. Josiah Hatfield picks up 16.
Frizzell's banged up a little bit after that play.
Doesn't, with the way that App State has played today, and especially with the debut of Chase Bryce and the great play from their defense, they've got to have a surging wave of confidence for week 2 when they travel down to take on Miami.
That's
long ball, a lot of contact. Flags come in from both directions there. Sean Jolly, preseason Sun Belt first teamer, has had a good night, but got caught there.
Yeah, that was a nice back shoulder fade by Holton Ehlers, and of course Jolly just kind of gets caught up and grabs a bunch of jersey.
Defense, number 3. Ball be placed in the spot of the foul. First down. 15.
Yeah, Sean Jolly, that guy is going to play in the NFL. I promise you that. He is a heck of a corner.
Who gave you the worst roasting of your football career at cornerback?
Braylon Edwards, probably. And Jericho Cotchery. Remember him from NC State, played for the Jets for many years and the Steelers. I think I led the Big Ten in pass interference calls in 2003.
Am I a bad friend for making you relive on national television the worst moments of your career?
Don't worry. We've got all season, and I can have some fun with you.
App State drops 8 here. Ehlers runs in a circle and emerges at the 45-yard line and finds that pass spiraling out of bounds.
I will be digging up some dirt on you, my friend.
There's assuredly none to be found.
I know lots of people at Syracuse.
Where we'll be headed next week. Oh,
That's right.
How convenient.
Your first time back, right? At least for
My
football.
first game to call in the Dome for football. Yeah. Enthusiasm will be high there with fans back, as it has been here tonight in Charlotte at the Dukes Mayo Classic. Almost 40,000 coming out from across the state of North Carolina and likely beyond as well. With optimism for both teams, East Carolina will certainly be a little bit disheartened by this one. Their offense, which has been their strong suit over the last several years, limited to just 12 points here and hoping to tack on a little bit more in what looks to be a losing effort. Third down and 10. Ahlers can take off, but that's not what they need here. He lofts it up, and he's got a touchdown. The tight end, Ryan Jones.
It's a great play by Ahlers. Buys himself some time in the pocket and just throws a nice, beautiful, easy touch throw right over the linebacker's head. Watch this. Gets pressure up the middle with the twist coming around from McLeod and just buys himself a little time. And nice touch right to his receiver, Jones.
Cool moment for Jones, the junior from right here in Charlotte, to score in the stadium of his team, of his town's NFL team.
All right, so 14-point game, 2 timeouts left. Now you onside kick it. Have to.
But they didn't before.
Yeah, but there's more time left. There was 4.5 minutes. They got it back pretty quick, scored quickly.
They did, so they're going to have to try and do...
I've seen crazier things happen in games like this.
We have. They're going to have to try and do what has been quite difficult to achieve so far in this game. 295 for Ahlers. Did you watch him go throughout the course of the American Conference season? It will be no surprise to see a handful, maybe 2 handfuls of 300-plus yard games for him. And on the plus side for ECU, their conference opponents' records last year in aggregate, 37 and 40. So under 500 as a whole. As I think the way you got to look at it this year for them, 3 and 6 a year ago, you get to 500, get yourself into a bowl game, perhaps. That's a good season given what the relative past has been.
Definitely setting up for the onside kick here.
So Daffer dumps it off. It travels the requisite 10 yards, bounces around quite a good bit.
That was a great kick.
ECU had App State outnumbered, and the Mountaineers fell on it.
They had two players who nearly just come up with this football. Look at this. The sneak onside kick back the other direction. Right there, that's... Oh, you got to catch the ball. That's an easy recovery for an onside kick. Goodness gracious.
That was grabbable.
Is that Powell? Yeah, Juan Powell. You got to come up with that one, buddy.
So an exercise in winding the clock here on this late 4th quarter drive by App State. The end of college football week 1, the 6-day extravaganza that begins the college football season Monday. Scott Satterfield and Louisville against Lane Kiffin. Always interesting. And Ole Miss. First meeting between these two teams. Reese Davis, Kirk Herbstreit have the call from Atlanta. It's 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Now you got
Speaking of Herbie, by the way,
yeah,
his latest tweet from 3 hours ago reads, "Touchdown at ECU Pirates FB here in Charlotte. Can almost watch the game from our hotel. Beautiful night." He's in town. College Game Day will be originating from Charlotte on Saturday. So his tweet has a little video there. It's already got 40,000 views overlooking from uptown Bank of America Stadium. Very cool.
Herbie's got a new book out that's, I've heard, is tremendous.
Price rolling. It takes a little bit of time. Hi, Kurt.
I guess East Carolina's just going to let the clock wind.
Can you see us? We're waving.
Hi, Herbie.
We'll be watching on Saturday, as will ECU and App State, as their respective seasons get off to a start here in Charlotte. App State 1-0, ECU 0-1. And up next, App State feeling good as they will play in their second NFL stadium in as many weeks at Hard Rock Stadium, taking on Miami next weekend.
Pretty impressive debut for Chase Bryce in this App State offense. I thought they were extremely balanced. I thought the defense played really well. And they got a nice, bright future ahead of them. Obviously, next week, you mentioned they've got to go on the road to play the Hurricanes. And that's no easy task, but don't be surprised if that's not a closer game than people think.
Well, it's going to have to start with shutting down the running game because Cam Peoples, Nate Noel have proven themselves a force to be reckoned with. The team that has led North Carolina FBS programs in wins each of the last 3 years starts off 1-0. The Kings of Carolina at least 4 a night as App State defeats ECU. Partner, it was fun. Had a good one.
It was, buddy.
Mike Cousins,
Saturday.
Dustin Fox, our entire crew, thanks for being with us. We say so long. A great night for college football in Charlotte.
ESPN.